episode of Suburban Sex with Addy and Remy. Suburban Sex is a show for all the sexy mamas and horny husbands out there. It's also for all of us who are exhausted parents who just want to bring some of the excitement back into our relationship. So tonight we've got Reagan, which is Remy's wife, and we get to do a little bit of girl talk tonight. So I'm very excited because we need to give our rendition of The Moms Next Door and what all it takes for us to get in the mood. Hey, Reagan. Hey, Remy.
Hey. Hey, girl.
How's it going? Hey, girl. Hey. And yay, girl, yay, because this is a fun one.
This is a fun one. I love girl talk.
I know. We also know all the things that turn us off, so I'm sure that'll be a whole another episode too. But let's start with the good stuff. Let's start with what's actually turning us on. So we'll go through a couple, and some are in the bedroom. Of course, that's the fun stuff, but a lot of it also happens to be outside of the bedroom. What happens before you walk through that door, and what's going to actually get us in the mood? Sometimes it's doing the dishes. Sometimes it's opening the door for us, but what it actually takes for us, and maybe that helps and sparks some interest.
Yes, I'm so glad to be on this episode. And it's funny, Remy and I were talking about this a little bit earlier today, especially with the dishes. We were talking about something else. So I have some notes. But I
Notes
think
for Remy. I love it.
I think it's so important because so much of what helps get me in the mood definitely happens before we're even got that door closed and locked to make sure the children don't come in, because that's always a possibility.
Yeah, you got to lock that door.
We got to lock that door. We haven't been discovered yet.
We have.
So far it's working.
We have. Yeah. But our door, in my defense, our door looks like it's locked, and then you can open it and it opens. So we've learned now to try it 4 times before we walk away from it.
That's the magic number. 4 is the magic number.
I guess. Sometimes I'll go with a 5th just to make sure.
5th time's a charm.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Just not to interrupt, but you said you've been caught. What happened when you got caught or discovered?
Oh, I know. Our middle walked in, and I don't remember. I know we were able to very quickly get ourselves back to a normal state. Maybe we just went under the covers or something. Brad, you may remember, but he was very young, like 2 or 3.
Yeah. Oh.
So he won't remember. Don't worry. The therapy is really going to be for us having a sex podcast, not for him walking in on us.
Yeah, I've thought about that a couple times.
I don't think I was inside you when he barged in.
Oh God.
I feel like it was
That's helpful.
It was like it was missionary, thank God. So it was easy to, play it off as
recover.
Hugging.
Just giving mommy a hug.
Yeah. Mom's taking up Brazilian jiu-jitsu or wrestling or something, and she's just showing me a few moves,
Yeah. We're working out.
Naked workouts.
But yeah.
If it had been like this afternoon, that would have been a problem. That'd be harder to explain.
So what happened this afternoon? Not to digress, but hey, you opened the door.
He did open the door, so he's going to close it. What, Brad? Tell us. Make it quick.
That's what she said.
Let me tell you guys, I had the most amazing blowjob this afternoon.
Oh my God.
Remy got a good one last night too. Go us, Addy.
High five, girl.
It's like
5. We just caught ourselves.
It's like blowjob weekend.
Wait.
It's National Blowjob Weekend.
I didn't know. It's my new favorite holiday.
We celebrated.
Oh my gosh. You said that just bought us 6 more months.
I didn't hear this at all weekend. Listen to this.
Hell.
Not
Oh my
once.
gosh. Oh, stop.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, you must have been
good for
doing
you.
some
good
of
for
this
us.
pre-work to help get Addy in the mood.
More times.
See?
Helmet.
Oh my God. He's real proud of that one. But you know what? We were up for it and in the mood for it because of we know what it takes to get in the mood. We have learned after however many
Mhm.
years being with our lovely partners here. We know what it takes. And I will say, so as I go down the list, and it's quite a list, maybe I'm high maintenance. I don't know. Brad is not allowed to respond to that. Damn it. Come on. Too fast.
You're high maintenance in the right ways,
That's right.
in the
We're
good
going to
ways.
use that. We're going to use that. But we pay attention, right? So maybe it's high maintenance, maybe it's just us paying attention to what the hell it takes, and if it's going to work for me that time, maybe it'll work for me next time. So let me try to add that to the bank and make sure that I use it again next time. So number 1, I think, is a no-brainer, but we absolutely have to say it first and foremost, Reagan. We have to actually like our husband, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
we know we've seen other couples, fortunately not in our little group, but we've seen other couples that just don't have a good, solid relationship, and maybe one, it's off kilter. They're not really very affectionate with each other in or out of the bedroom, and there's just not any sort of spark that gets them there.
Right.
So I think that just has to be said, because obviously we have a sex podcast because we've got a good foundation, right?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, if you don't have a good foundation and you have a sex podcast, I think there's some
That'd be weird.
serious underlying issues there. And I think that the thing that really drew Remy and I to this group of friends initially was just the common like lack of respect between partners, and just genuine like being nice to each other and being kind to each other. Um, and I think that is step one if you want to have a really good or just even an existent sex life, right?
Yes.
That's step one, is liking your spouse and respecting your spouse.
Mhm.
And it shows to everyone around you when you don't. And I think, especially for this conversation, just saying what our turn-ons are, what our thoughts are, it starts with the man. The it starts with the man, how he treats the woman, how he respects the woman, how he caters to the woman. That is setting the tone for the relationship, for the family, and for your sex life. So if you're not treating your wife or your partner well and loving and in a respectful way, then sex is going to be the last thing on her mind, the last thing on her agenda. She can't pour into you if you're not pouring into her.
I hope all the
Mm,
guys heard
I
that
like that.
because, at first, if your spouse doesn't like you, you don't like your spouse. It almost sounds kind of hopeless. But I've been in, or me and Reagan have been in the situation where things have been off kilter, and it took a lot of work, but I got things back on track through a lot of effort. So if you're in that
Mhm.
position,
And
therapy,
therapy, shout
And
out
sex
therapy, yeah.
coaches,
therapy.
Shout out to
lots of
therapy.
things. But I
Yeah, yeah.
changed my
Mhm.
attitude, which kind of helped us get back on track. So that being said, if you don't like your spouse or your spouse doesn't like you, it's not hopeless. You can still change it, so, which is
Yeah.
hopefully, why things that we can learn from each other,
Yeah,
through
man,
conversation.
just open the marriage up, right? I mean, come on.
Oh, stop.
I can learn from other men
Brad,
or
mute.
That's
ladies.
a
You're gonna
one
mute the rest of
method
this episode.
that might end your marriage, but at least you'll have fun
That's our
along the
plan
way.
B.
You might
Stop.
just have fun along the way.
That's actually true. We joke that it's our plan B, but we know we want to stay together. We don't want to be the type that just stays together for the kids kind of thing, but we also, I mean, we really like each other, love each other,
Mhm.
so we're not actually worried about it, but we've joked that if it got to that point where we just cannot stand each other anymore, cannot deal anymore, then let's open it up. That's going to be our plan B. And before we have any sort of divorce.
So you're gonna go straight from like things aren't working to plan B. Like, is that
No,
like
no,
not
no,
a
no,
C or
no.
D? Like,
No,
I
no,
Like
feel like
next
no.
that should
That's
be
weekend, I
farther
can do
down
the
the
plan.
Thank
alphabet.
you. Plan
Like, that's
Z.
your plan F. Oh,
Yeah.
plan F.
Just until
I like
the
that.
Good
kids
point.
graduate.
Good point. Oh, stop. Yeah, stop. No, it's I mean we say it jokingly. Obviously, that could absolutely work for couples. So that's we're not going to have much experience to talk about that on this particular podcast, but yeah, we have a good baseline
Yeah.
and we're
That's
happy
step
with
1.
each other and
Mhm.
I mean, Reagan, I mean, I've been married before. This is my
Mhm.
second marriage, and
Mhm.
in my first marriage, we did not have kids. I'm very fortunate in that aspect, but it wasn't a good situation. And he's not a bad guy, but we were
Right.
both too young and dumb, and it wasn't a healthy
Yeah.
relationship. And I don't think it. I think if I truly loved him and really wanted to make it work, that we could have made it work. But I I I think we were just so young that we weren't really meant to be together
Right.
in the first place. But because I've seen that before, I think I appreciate Brad a
Mhm.
lot more.
Mhm.
And to your point, Reagan, you just said you think it starts with the man, but I mean, we play a very valuable role in this as
Mm.
well. Everyone
Mhm.
wants to feel desired.
Mhm.
And I mean, this is gonna be a theme throughout my whole list of what gets me turned on in or out of the bedroom, but it's feeling desired. That is the underlying piece. So I've got to make sure that I'm still helping him feel desired and
Mhm.
wanted, and I appreciate him. If he's doing
Right.
those dishes, I
Right.
appreciate it. I'm gonna thank him for it, and he's gonna thank me for dealing with the chaos of the kids. It's
Mhm.
just it's gotta be a balance between
Mhm.
both of us.
Mhm. I think that's a good point, is just verbalizing that appreciation, right? Because I think that when you're working parents, which I'm sure the majority of people listening are both working, and even if one of you is not working, you're still working, right? You're
Oh,
still
girl.
contributing to the family, taking care of
Yes.
the kids, which is a much harder job, which I don't think anybody with a child in their home is going to argue with that. So,
Mm-mm.
but just verbalizing that appreciation, taking time to notice it on both ends, right? Because it's not just my responsibility to thank Remy because he did the dishes today. It's like, thank you for being an adult and cleaning up after yourself. But it's like, if I take the moment to say, hey, I noticed that you did that and I didn't get to it, thank you. And if he takes a moment to say, hey, I know that one of the kids was just giving you a hard time, you handled that really well. And I appreciate the kind of mom you are. Just
Yeah.
finding those moments of appreciation, is just gonna, like, who doesn't want to hear a compliment? Who doesn't want
I
to say, hey,
know.
pat on the back,
Mhm.
good old boy, good old girl, you got
Yeah.
this.
Get
I think
it.
that's a good point. I
Yeah,
like it.
absolutely.
You should give that a try, Remy, and so will I.
I'm taking notes, baby. I'm taking notes.
You should. You're gonna have some notes.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Now we have a whole PowerPoint deck after this show, so
Mm.
we'll make sure to share it out afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so obviously foundation needs to be set. We mentioned therapy, but therapy is key and crucial if you are in a particular spot, but that's not what we are at this moment. We're not therapists at this moment, or probably will be. So
Mm-hmm.
this is for funsies,
Yes.
but yeah, so that's point one. The next one I think is important is the intimacy of talking to each other about, I mean, as much as we can, but since
Mm-hmm.
this is a sex podcast, let's go that direction.
Mm-hmm.
But talking to each other about sex, about, our what's going on with our world, and Brad knows if I'm not mentally in it when we're walking into the bedroom, or sometime that day if he sees just the kids are driving me absolutely bonkers.
Mm-hmm.
We just have to kind of have that open line of communication where
Right.
he gets a sense of where I'm at mentally, and
Right.
he knows to back down
Right.
or try it or what have you. But I think that's important too, and I think we could do probably a whole episode on
I
intimacy
think
and
we should,
talking
because
about
I'm about to
sex.
dive deep into that topic right
Let's
now.
do it. Let's do it now. A little bit here and there will be
A
good. It'll
little
be a good
I
teaser.
I No, I think that's a really good point, especially if you do have younger children. Um, there could be something that happens right at bedtime. I'm sure your kids are notorious for this. Ours are, where it's like I put them to bed 4 times a night sometimes because they get up for
Yeah.
this or they get up for that or they need another blanket or
Mhm.
whatever. So, if I'm just kind of at the end of that journey, I can't just immediately shift gears into a new journey. I need some type of reset, right? But the
Yeah.
problem is sometimes that reset takes a minute to like get out of mom mode and into sexy mode. But by the time I'm able to even access sexy mode, I'm falling asleep.
Yeah. So
So
let's be realistic. A minute is more like 2 hours sometimes.
yeah, I need a good 45-minute,
Yeah.
2-hour time span where I'm not responsible to anyone for any reason to
Yeah.
just decompress from my day, even if I
Mhm.
had a good day, right?
Yeah.
Even if nothing went wrong that day and everything went right, like I still need a breather where I'm not immediately shifting from work Reagan to mom Reagan to sexy wife Reagan. Like I
Mhm.
need a minute to pivot,
Yeah.
and sometimes by time the pivot happens, I'm unconscious. Which that's a whole nother thing too, because I've told Remy before that if he just doesn't
So
wake me
Remy's like,
up,
"Hey,
he can have sex
whatever.
with me. Just don't wake me up. And it's like free
Wait, what's the
reign.
word for that? Is
Just sleep on your stomach,
having sex
right?"
with people who are asleep?
I'm more of a side sleeper, so that's a whole nother
That could also
technique
work.
that could
That could also
work.
work.
We should
Yeah.
practice, but I mean that's a challenge. But I will say that one thing that we did today, and this is a great thing that Remy found, so major props to him. We're
Hey.
talking about things we're proud of from the past week, not necessarily related to sex or intimacy, but just
Sure.
general things. So we talked about things we're proud of, things we're grateful for. So like starting off on that positive, getting your head into a
Ooh.
positive space. And then you're like, okay, what is our schedule going to look like this week? What is our intimacy going to look like this week?
Mm.
And I know that one of your notes, Addie, was scheduling time for intimacy, which it's
Yeah.
like, it's people might think, oh, that's unsexy and that's not spontaneous. Well, you know what? That's life.
That's
Sometimes life isn't
life.
always sexy and spontaneous.
Yeah.
And if you're not making it a point to say, okay, well, this is the days based on what our week looks like, where I think that we're going to have the best chance to have sex, with that knowledge in the background that, like, if I had a bad day with the kids, don't come knocking on my door.
Yeah.
I won't be
Yeah.
waiting for
But
you.
part of it is, I
Uh-uh.
mean, I think a lot of the times where I get stressed about something not
Mm,
happening, it's because I have the big E word, the expectations. So having this
That's
conversation
right.
ahead of time kind of helps align
mhm,
my expectations for the week. So we're being
mhm.
proactive about it
Mhm.
because it's when I have one set of expectations and life happens and sends that off the rails, that's when I get kind of stressed. Like, man, she doesn't even care. I mean, or she's dealing with this. And in my head, I can go a million different ways when in reality,
Mhm.
life just happened. And the next day I figure it out, but it causes stress in the meantime. So if we can have this conversation a week
If it's
out,
been 3 days, then it causes
3
stress
days, it's like
in
a
the
Mm.
month in
meantime.
guy world, you know.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. 3 days. Ah,
Mhm,
Brad knows. I mean, he knows I'm his weekend girl.
mhm.
I don't know what he does during the
You don't wanna
weekday,
know.
but it ain't
Good
me.
things. He's having
Yeah.
a good time. Don't ask questions.
He's fine.
He's just
Brad
Closing
is
that
fine.
orgasm
fine.
gap, that's what's
Yeah.
happening.
Hey, there should be no orgasm gap.
True.
You do your thing.
I always think I'm ahead of you on the weekend, but then no,
I might
no,
catch
you
up.
make up for it.
Nope.
Oh. Today?
No, not today.
Come
No,
on,
during the
man.
week when you're on
All
your
right.
break, that's when the party
Mhm.
gets started
Mhm.
for hot tub.
We were on a break.
Yeah. We
I
were on a
shower every
break.
day.
Oh my god, do you do it in the shower
Duh.
every day?
Nice.
Oh my
You don't know
gosh.
this?
No, I'm your
Wow.
wife. Speaking of
See,
intimacy
you're
and
always
talking about
learning new
sex,
things about
I
your
know,
partner.
truly. I think it's funny that this is the exact topic we're on, and I just learned something about my
Awesome.
husband.
Hmm.
And we talk about it. Like I
It's
know
not
I
every
asked you
time.
when you
It's not
do
every
it.
time.
Okay, see,
It's
there
probably
you go.
only
See?
it's probably only 99 out of 100 times.
Oh
So
my
you're saying there's a
gosh.
chance that you're not
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at
1%
that
chance.
because
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh.
it's okay in the shower, but for me, I don't like the water as much, you know. But maybe that's a
Oh,
whole different
interesting.
topic for.
I was
a whole
about to say,
different
hey,
day.
Remy, Monday through Wednesday, got you covered.
Just go take a
You've got a
shower,
shower
baby.
you've
I
got to
will,
get
Take a shower.
I
to.
will lock that door. I'll check it thrice to make sure the children don't walk
All right.
in. You do
Hey,
your
you
thing.
never know. All
Have
right.
at it.
Oh
Hey,
my gosh, that's amazing.
whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes, whatever works,
Whatever
you
it
know?
takes.
So now, next time we're on a guy's trip and Brad's taking a long time in the shower, I'm like, all right, I know what's
Mhm.
happening.
Oh, Remy, he doesn't need that much time. He doesn't need that much time. It'll be quick. He won't even
Hey, I'll
know.
support him. I'll be outside. You can do it, Hot Job.
He's got some like Marvin Gaye playing for
That'll
you.
do it.
Piping
Oh,
into
yeah.
the
Chet
Oh,
Faker.
cracks.
yeah.
Chet
I
Faker.
love it.
Let's get it on with
Oh, Chet
myself.
Faker is good. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, no, but you know, we're joking, but even just the conversation we started with about blowjobs today, besides us having a podcast, would you guys have talked about that? And you know, Remy appreciated the blowjob you got yesterday and given her any sort of, you know, high five feedback, you know, this was great. I really loved that. I want you to do that again, kind of thing.
So,
Do you guys
so I was
broach
doing
that
the math
regularly?
on it, and as you guys were talking earlier, I was wondering if the fact that you got your 3 hours of alone time when I planned a play date for the kids, did that have anything to do with the spontaneous blowjob?
Oh,
No.
Okay.
girl. I bet it did.
No.
You don't think?
I don't think
Okay.
so. That's that. I think that I saw that on your list, which I want to like getting that alone time, which I want to
Yes.
kind of come back to. But I don't necessarily think it did. I think that the moment just felt right, and I also noticed how aroused you kind of already were. And normally, when we've tried to do blowjobs, I'll start with that, and it's like I'm gonna be there for 15 minutes, and I just or more,
Yeah.
and I don't have that kind of stamina or ability to counteract my gag reflex.
Yeah.
So I just like, let me try it now that you're kind of already in the, you know, we're kind of already halfway through this thing to see what I see, and it worked out beautifully. But I noticed Remy didn't answer your question, Addy, so I'll answer for him.
Thanks, baby.
He was very verbally appreciative and has
Okay.
been all over me like white on rice today.
Oh, yes.
Just he's like, I feel so much closer to you.
Mhm.
So yeah, he definitely verbalized how much he enjoyed and appreciated that. So I
That's
hope it
good.
lasts you for 6 more months, and then we'll try it again.
Check,
I'm
please.
kidding.
What?
Or am
She
I?
jokes. She jokes.
Stay tuned.
I know, right?
Even yesterday morning, he was trying to kind of nuzzle up on me and stuff like that, and I was just laying there like a fish out of water.
Mhm.
And he was like, you know, what are you thinking? And I was like, I don't know. You're just not being very convincing. You know, it just
love
didn't
it.
seem like it was worth my while in that moment.
Yeah.
I feel your
And
pain, Remy.
so
Yeah, that
I've
one
gotten
Yeah.
it hit hard.
I've gotten
but
that
hey.
feedback as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because
But
we can't just switch into it like you all
No.
can.
No.
That makes it so
It's
hard
not
for
just
us.
on my mind automatically. It's not a
No.
switch I can just flip. But I think that you're onto something, Addie, with the talking about it, because so, you know, sometimes I'll be talking with one of my friends about Remy and I's sex life, things that we do, things that we talk about, and I can tell that a lot of it's just so foreign to them. You know, one of the things that Remy and I do is we call it side by side, TM, so that is trademarked. But you know, I'll have my Hitachi and he'll have his hand. Never fails.
Never
And,
fails.
it's just that's like it's a weeknight. We're tired. We're basically rubbing one out. We're helping each other and going.
Yeah.
We're going to bed.
Yeah.
And the fact that we do that and that we feel comfortable enough to do that and to like pleasure ourselves with our partner is very foreign to a lot of people, which I understand that's a very vulnerable thing to do.
Sure.
But vulnerability is the definition of intimacy, right? So it's something that has worked well for us when we want to feel close to each other, but we just don't have the energy or stamina for all the acrobatics and the upside down headstands that definitely happen on the weekends. So, it's just talking about it, making it normal.
Yeah.
I still feel like sex is still so stigmatized for
Mhm.
many different reasons in many different ways. But it shouldn't. And even for Remy and I, there's still a stigma about things from our past that we're gonna probably be working through for the rest of our lives. But
Mhm.
it's an ongoing conversation. It's an ongoing topic
Well, that was part
Yeah.
of the
in our
conversation today. As we were doing
marriage.
the end of our check-in, one of the questions I asked was, how satisfied are you with our intimacy now? Because it does look different than when we first got married. I mean, it was mostly just,
Oh yeah.
straight sex, but now all of a sudden in parent mode, we do tend to, especially when we're tired, go more to the side by side, which is not probably the norm.
TM.
Well, no, I'm just saying. I mean, I want to make sure
No,
she's satisfied.
that means it's
No.
trademarked.
TM.
That means
Well,
it's
no, but I'm just
trademarked.
saying it's like, yeah, I was like, well, do you need more actual sex? And she's like, hey, we are,
After you get a vasectomy, we can talk about it.
Oh, snap. We
yeah,
have talked about
we have a whole
that.
episode where we talk about it,
You
and
haven't got one of those yet?
not
Uh-huh.
yet, man.
Yeah,
I
Thank you,
did
Still
still.
get
waiting
a
Hot
on you,
Brad.
dude.
consultation the
Yeah.
other day, but I'm waiting for you to come and get the peas and take me to Vegas.
Dude.
Oh my gosh. We've
Listen,
played this game
Hot Tub
already.
Brad drove himself home. Okay, you're gonna be
Oh,
fine.
It's pretty
Take
easy.
you a
hot
little
tub, come on,
cooler.
man.
Bring you a Yeti cup full of
No,
Hot
ice,
tub's
Remy
Yeah.
taking off
and then
work
just
for me.
Remy's testicles need more care than mine.
Remember, I'm a delicate
he's got
flower.
sensitive testicles.
Exactly.
Oh my
Need some
gosh.
love.
We need to care for his testes
Oh.
in the proper way.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just say, I'm not holding that. Just so people know that
Yeah.
don't know me personally, I'm not holding sex hostage
No.
because
No.
he refuses. Because he hasn't gotten a vasectomy. It's nothing like that. He's absolutely willing-ish to get
Ish.
one. But I'm not currently on birth control. Just to help with my hormones and that kind of thing. And so,
Which we actually decided that together, and I was a big supporter of that because
This
what did I do?
this is breaking news. Hold on a second. Are y'all trying?
absolutely not.
It sounds
We're
like
not trying.
Hell
you're
no. Hell
Oh
you're
my
no.
not trying because you'd be on birth control.
But you can only get pregnant like 2 or 3 days out of the month. So we just don't have sex
Are you
around those
serious right
days.
now? That
Yeah.
this
She's
is your
serious.
method of birth control?
People do that. People
It's
do
a-
that. I know multiple people who do that.
This is a real thing. You can actually
Oh my
only get
God, they're gonna
pregnant 3
get
days out of
pregnant.
the month. That's the future
Y'all are so getting
podcast
pregnant.
episode. Having a baby
You're gonna look
after
back on
40
this
and trying to
podcast
have
and say,
sex.
"Yep, he called it."
Good luck.
Yep.
And Hot Tub Brad, that is why the majority of the time we do side by side because
Yeah.
I'm afraid.
Remy,
I'm afraid.
just go
Not
do it,
afraid,
dude.
but
Hey, guess what? I enjoy
that's why we're
not
not
being
having
afraid.
I got a
intercourse.
consultation,
enjoy-
so
I-
hey, man, I'm approaching the subject.
It's so easy, dude. And once you're done, you can just sling it around anywhere.
That's not what I want to hear. I want to hear, man, it's so difficult. You need all the help you can get because at this point,
Okay,
No.
Reagan
okay,
has
Remy.
zero, like, it's, compassion towards the concept. And I know she's been through some things,
Yeah.
and I was there
Yeah.
for all of
Yeah.
them
Zero
with
compassion.
lots of compassion.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's my point to this topic is when we first started talking about Remy getting a vasectomy, he made the sweetest comment, and because I was like, well, should I, get the whatever, like not the like
Tube
full
tie.
hysterectomy, but yeah, like
Yeah,
where they
yeah.
do the laparoscopic and they burn it or
Mhm.
whatever. I was like, should I do that or what what type of more permanent methods do we want to take here if I'm not going to be on the pill? And he said, you've already been through enough pain for this family, so I'm not going to let you do that. Which
Damn
I thought
right.
was
Damn right.
incredibly sweet, and yet he still has not gotten one. So
Yeah.
I feel like I call bullshit.
Yeah, a little
Oh,
bullshit there.
I call a little
Yeah.
no,
bullshit.
just a friend of mine
I
had a
love,
bad
like,
experience,
it's
Show
cute
me.
that
so but one
well,
guy.
yeah,
So
but that's like one of 1 bajillion. You're fine. No, I am totally with you on that. I mean, hun, she has
Mm,
gone through so much with her
mhm,
body.
mhm,
It's your turn. Tag,
mhm.
you are it.
Tag, you're it.
Let's move on. And
You can have a
then
lot
and
more
then
sex.
you can have some of those acrobatics. We did a little
Mhm,
acrobatics today, and I don't care. I don't care what happens because I
yeah.
know we're basically doubled up, but
Mhm.
I have no concern
No
for
fear.
extra children. Mm-mm.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I had 3, so 3 is definitely a
Three's
limit.
plenty.
That was my limit.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So we've done a lot on kind of the pregame of what
Mhm.
helps get us in the mood.
Mhm.
One thing that I do like to talk about um before we get into in the bedroom,
Mm. Mhm.
let's play dress up. Okay.
Mhm.
So as you know, Brad loves to dress me up in public.
Mhm. Mhm.
I will wear tiny little dresses. There will be slits. There will be open backs, all of that. And I buy none of those dresses myself. He does the shopping. Obviously, it's like
Mhm.
cheap stuff on Amazon. It is not
Right.
crazy expensive. It is not anything special. But to him, it is special because he gets to see me in a different way. And
Mhm.
usually these are vacation dresses, but I also will wear them around the house sometimes, kind of like a lingerie type of thing, because I know he enjoys it, and sometimes I don't want to wear the crotchless lingerie that he's buying me, so I have to be in a mood for that.
Mhm.
But uh, are we kind of out of the norm on that one, Reagan?
So Remy is similar where he will, if we're going on a vacation, he'll pick out some bikinis for me, some tops or dresses or something like that.
Okay.
But for me, a lot of so my body has changed a lot and since I've had kids,
Yeah.
and it's been harder for me to lose weight um, than before. And
Yeah.
so he'll get me these sexy outfits and they're tight or they're riding
Mhm.
up in a way or they're uncomfortable because
Yeah.
I'm so aware of where they're positioned in my on my body and it just doesn't feel comfortable. Not that I'm opposed to dressing sexy when we're especially if we're on vacation. I mean, listen, some of the stuff he's tried to get me to wear when we'd come over to your pool, I'm like, absolutely not. There are children present. Okay? Children
Yes.
present. I can't
Uh-huh.
be slipping out a boob.
Right.
Not okay.
Mm-mm.
So, there's a time and place which my sweet husband forgets sometimes and I have to remind him.
Same with
Um
Brad.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's definitely not something I'm opposed to, but I think that with me, it's finding, and probably with a lot of women, it's finding the right things that make you feel sexy,
Oh,
no
yes.
matter what your body shape is. Because, some of those bikinis he gets me, it's just like, that's just going to be like a piece of floss on my crotch.
Yep.
And that does not appeal to me.
No.
That
No,
sounds
not at all.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's not cute to
No,
me.
not mm-mm. And you have to be in the right mindset for it, but you also have to be hundreds of miles away from anyone you
Keep
will ever run
keep
into.
hope alive, Remy.
well, my strategy is I buy volumes. You buy a lot of them, and then out of the bunch, if it covers a range, she'll find something that she's into. And most of it you can send the rest back
Yeah.
depending what you're buying. I mean,
Mhm.
Yes, you do. And you'll present it to me like on a Tuesday at 8:30. Look at all of these
'Cause they
bikinis
just
that I
came
bought
in.
you and you're
Mhm.
on your period. Try them on.
Yeah, yeah. This'll
You
be
know,
we're
fun.
excited, but I'll
Time and
present
place.
it better next time.
Read the
Hey,
room.
I love it. Read the
I've
room.
actually learned some things through
One track mind.
conversations with Hot Tub.
Mhm.
Apparently, well, I'll let him explain it, but when it comes to the curation of the sexy, he's got a whole closet method. So it's amazing. So maybe I'll let him share that.
That's
But
true. That's
well
true.
That
played.
will also be linked in the
Yeah.
show notes.
You
Hot Tub Brad's closet
patient.
method.
Rule number
TM.
1, you gotta be
TM.
patient. You can't, force
Oh my
The
god.
long
force
game.
He is playing the
fashion
long
show.
game.
She's gotta be feeling good.
Mm.
You can't just say, "Hey, I got it in the
Mhm.
mail. Try it on now."
Mm-hmm.
Now you
'Cause we
did start
want
that way.
to. We
Let's be
want
real.
Yeah.
we wanna
Mhm.
You're
Yeah, oh, yeah.
excited. We're not.
Yeah.
We've
We're not
been
excited.
checking
Mhm.
Amazon every 3 hours to see where the delivery is.
Oh my gosh.
But
It's 2 states
but,
over.
you have to wait. You have to just, like, hang it up where she can see it and, maybe just say, "Hey, something, new came in, whenever you're ready." Yeah, whatever,
Just a little something.
So coy about
No big
it.
deal. No
Mm-hmm.
big deal. I don't
Yeah.
care. Whatever. I don't even care if
Mm-hmm.
you try
Yeah,
it
I don't
on. It's
care.
fine. Whatever.
It's fine.
Girl, he bought me like 4 different dresses for New Year's Eve. Let's remember New Year's Eve was us partying with friends here in our
Mm-hmm.
current city and even
Mm-hmm.
going out to dinner. So I'm not wearing a
Mm-hmm.
Cancun or Jamaica dress for New
Mm-hmm.
Year's Eve because I could run into someone that I know.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the dresses fit in the palm of my hand in its little bag.
Aw.
It fit
So
in the palm of my
cute.
hand and I picked it up and I was like, "Honey, this is already a no. Like, I already
I'm gonna open
know
this
the
bag.
answer." And he said, "Please just try it on. Just, just for fun. I don't care. I'll take it back. It's fine. But I just want to see it on." And that's fine. I will try it on.
Mm-hmm.
I tried not to laugh too hard at it because the slit went up to my belly button on the side.
Oh my
And it
Oh,
looked great on you.
gosh.
no.
Looks great. You should have kept that one.
What? No, you should not have.
That one's in my secret stash for
Yeah.
emergencies.
But some of his purchases have worked out, and
Mhm.
to his point, so this is what he does with dresses, lingerie. We do have a hot tub outside, if you can't tell by his name, Hot Tub Brad. And so he will buy me highlighter swimsuits that are, bright neon pink or yellow or orange or something, also see-through, also string. Like
Mhm.
wherever you can put a string, there's a string. So,
Mhm.
but he's gotten very organized about all of this. He hangs everything up. We do not have a drawer. We do not have a box. We used to have a box of lingerie. No longer. This is all hung up. Every single sexy dress, lingerie, sexy swimsuit, all of that. It's all hung up and he puts it in order. So one time when I use it and we wash it, it goes to the back of the line.
Mm.
And then the next thing that pops up is what
Mm.
I can think about
No,
wearing.
no,
There's
she's
no expectation.
contractually, obligated to wear the next one in line. It was in her vows, I think.
It's like the Santa
Pretty
Claus,
sure
but
that we have a prenup that just
the sexy
describes the
dress clause.
lingerie
It's real
Yes.
small verbiage at the
closet.
bottom of the marriage contract.
It's not my fault if you didn't read the contract.
Mhm. Legally binding.
Yeah.
One thing that we talked about today, he was like, "What is something that I can help you better this week?" That was one of the things on this list. It was a really
I
good
love
little
this.
list.
I
Yeah.
know. This is so smart.
And it's like all things you want to talk about and need to talk about, but you just get busy with life and
Mhm.
it never happens. But I was like, I really want to make sure that we keep the kitchen clean just because it's just it's just my sticking point right now.
Yeah.
And
If that's what's going to get you less stressed is by having a clean
right.
kitchen, then that needs to be a point of focus. Yeah.
Right. But I think that it's a lot of men that I hear from have this idea or this thought like, okay, if I clean this thing or if I do this thing or if I do this
Mhm.
act of service, she's going to get in the mood. But it's not a one and done situation, right?
No.
It's an ongoing thing along with the other things that we've already talked about where it's like if you see that something is dirty or you see that something needs to be picked up, pick it. It's just those little things to help
Mhm.
lighten the mental load that women experience.
Yeah.
But having that conversation, now he's aware of it, right? Where it's like, I might not have verbalized that before. Not that he doesn't clean the kitchen on his own volition, but I just think that with men sometimes, or maybe it's just with Remy, it's a one and done. Like, okay, if I do this thing, then it's
Mhm.
going to help get her in the mood. Well, there's a million things
Yeah.
that need to happen. So
That's
just kind
one
of
that I
being
told
aware
you.
that it's not a one and done. It is an
Mhm.
ongoing thing. And you can clean the kitchen, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to want to jump your bones tonight. It's more than
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do think it's so important that we not that we have to repeat ourselves, but it just has to be an ongoing conversation,
Right.
like you said,
Yeah.
because it's not a one and done, but it's also it's evolving.
Right.
You have
Yeah.
to
It changes
just
from week to week.
it can change, and that doesn't mean that we need more and more and more from them. It just means that it needs to be top
I
of
need
mind
something
for
different
them.
today.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. And so don't have something set in your head as to, well, I did this one or two
Right.
things because we've talked about it. But also I don't mind telling him something each day that I need it. I think
Right.
we as women expect our husbands to read our minds.
Mhm.
And we know women are from Mars,
Right.
men are from Venus. We
Right.
know that. So
Right.
we can't expect that to be common sense of what's going on in our
Right.
head. We can't expect them to know. So we just have to tell them.
Right.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
I have no problem telling Brad that I need something, and I
Right.
tell him every time
Right.
I need
And
it.
Remy is really good about that too. If I'm like, "Will you help me with this or can you do this?" Like
Yes.
he will drop what he's doing 99% of the time
Mhm.
and do the thing that I'm asking him to do. But
Yeah.
I think what was interesting about the conversation, the check-in that we had today was that this is something that's kind of been on my mind and kind of bothering me. And I haven't verbalized it, not because he's done, not for anything he has or hasn't done, or I haven't done. It was just a busier week. And so I'm like, okay,
Sure.
this is what I need to focus on. And this will help lighten that mental load before I'm already at the point of being stressed about it. Like
Mhm.
this is us being proactive instead of reactive, which I think if you're a parent, you spend the majority of your life in the reactive zone. So this gave
Yeah.
us the opportunity to be proactive where he's like, okay, this is something that I know she is needing my help on this week. So I'm going to make efforts this week in this area. Um, so I think that, it's so nuanced, obviously, to every woman. So you want to know your partner, but you
Mhm.
can't just expect to do the dishes one time and she's ready to hop in the bed. It's
No.
it's liking your partner, it's respecting your partner, it's doing nice things for your partner, it's being a
Mhm.
partner to your
Yeah.
partner.
Yeah.
It's 100 little things that you do outside of the bedroom.
In terms of the post, I sent it to you guys. It's just something I saw on Instagram that I just decided to adopt because I liked the way it was presented, and it wasn't like heavily focused just on intimacy, where there's
Right.
another one that is focused on intimacy, but this is just a good baseline for a conversation with a partner, and
It's an
you can
overarching,
take it wherever
right?
you want, really.
Okay, so walk us through it, Remy, because I think this is a great idea for us to do these check-ins. This is weekly?
I mean,
Yes, you're supposed to do it. It says weekly
uh,
check-ins, and so we did it today for the first time.
Okay.
But I think it's so helpful because it covers so many different areas. And it does cover intimacy, but it's not only focused on intimacy. And I think that, when you're married to a man that has a higher sex drive, like our wonderful husbands do, sex is often a topic of conversation, which is fine, but it can't be the only topic of conversation, right? There's
Right.
a lot more to this marriage, this relationship to me than just being your sexual partner.
Mhm.
And this was kind of all encompassing of the different things that we need on a weekly basis, but also like celebrations. It started off with celebrations, which I
Yeah, I
think was
like
lovely. So,
that.
Remy, I'll let you talk about the
so this is just
components.
someone follow on Instagram. They posted this, and it was basically a communication tool for relationships for people in long term relationships. So I generally pay attention to see if there's anything I can take learn from. But this is a weekly relationship check in. The first thing is talk about what we're proud of. The next step is talk about what we're grateful for. The next step is clearing conflict from the week, which is something I've never really asked in that way before. Is there anything we need to clear the air from this week that we haven't resolved? So that was a
Mm,
different topic. We've talked about some of the other things, but never like that.
yeah.
Planning intimacy and dates is the next topic. Talk about
Mhm.
finances, which sex and finances are always the more stressful things for us. So we're trying to approach that in a way that is not stressful, because once it's stressful, we're not getting anywhere. The
Right.
next is travel and logistics, and then the other is ask how you can support each other, and to give both partners an opportunity to say, here's what you can do to help me this week. So it was pretty. I thought it was a helpful exercise.
I like it. I like it.
And to answer that last part of the question, mine was the kitchen and his was sex related. So
No way,
men are
Remy.
from Mars.
Surprise!
No
Venus.
way. Yours was sex related?
It was
His
not
was always sex
directly
related.
sex related.
No, he wants me to be Monday through Wednesdays are hard. Sex is kind of off the table. He has not adopted that yet.
He
But
said
it's
he
Some
did,
weeks we
Remy.
are.
loosely.
Some weeks we are.
Okay.
It just depends on the week, you know.
Okay.
But I that door is pretty much closed for me Monday through Wednesday.
Yeah.
Not for any other reason than there's just really busy and there's a lot going on. So it's like
Yes.
even if I had a good day and everything went super smoothly, it still was a busy day.
You got a
So
lot
it's
going
like
on.
I got a
Yeah.
lot going on. So he wanted me to be aware that just because it might be off the table, but that doesn't mean that it's not on his mind, and just to be aware
Yeah.
of that and mindful of that and check in with him to see if, like how he's doing. Do you need to go take a shower? I'll put a sock on the door. Knock yourself out.
Yes. Yes. You can start that one now. No, that's good. That's a beautiful way to kind of combine each piece of the intimacy aspect, because you're right, it's not all about sex. Sex is one piece of the pie when we think about our marriage as a big old pie. Um and that's only one part of it, even though it's a
Right.
larger part for them than it is for us
Right.
sometimes. Yeah,
It's a louder part.
it is
It's a fun
loud.
part, but it's not the only part. And if the other parts of the part isn't happening, then that
Yeah.
part
It's a
can't
louder
happen
part.
well.
Wow, that's deep.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm very loud. So thank goodness our bedroom is on the other side of the house than the girls. It was really hard when we shared a
Girl.
wall in our previous home. We shared
Mhm.
like their bedroom was on the other
Oh
side,
my
so that
gosh.
I had to like use pillows and stuff and muffle
Yeah. I do
myself.
feel like if I'm trying to keep myself quieter, that my orgasm is
Mhm.
not as full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of is like primal, a little animalistic.
Yes.
Like it's just a
You want to let it
natural
all out.
let it out.
Yeah.